These are the best hacks to keep your makeup in place all day. Don't forget, I'm on several different social media platforms. All the handles are in my description box below. If you like reading, there's a newsletter which you can check out. There's another YouTube channel for business growth. There's Instagram, TikTok, a bit of everything so you can take your pick. Now, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Let's get started. So ultimately, we all want our makeup to last all day, right? So I'm going to be going through hacks that you can use to really help your makeup last all day. And the weird thing is that they're only actually small things that you need to do to be able to have your makeup lasting all day. But it's not all just about products. It is about your technique, and it is about the order in which you apply your makeup. So let's go. Now, I have nothing on my face, no skincare, nothing. We're going to get started with skincare because skincare is going to make a big difference with how your makeup stays and how it actually sits on your face. So we're going to get started with that. Now, usually you guys know that I use the Rhode skincare range, right? Usually I would use my glazing milk, which gives you that extra dewiness. Now, when I want my makeup to last a lot longer, I don't use that. I don't want that extra boost of hydration because I'm getting the kind of like hydration that I need from my moisturizer or my treatment. I don't need the extra hydration. I always feel like my skin does look extra dewy when I use this, which I love generally, but when I want my makeup to last all day, I don't need that dewiness to come like later on, until later on. So I'm going to go straight in with my treatment, which is my Rhode Peptides Glazing Fluid. So I'm getting the hydration like I said, but I'm not actually adding anything extra. So we're just going to smooth that over. Now the trick is you want to make sure you wait at least 30 seconds before you move to the next one. Problem is when you put your skincare on and then you go straight in with your other one, this one hasn't dried, it hasn't settled in, you haven't allowed your skin to kind of drink up that moisture or treatment, whatever it is that you're putting on before you've applied the next one, and everything just mixes in together and it can end up just sitting on your skin, which in turn can affect the way that your makeup lasts all day. So I've kind of like let that settle in. Let me just wait a little bit more. So I'm going to apply my moisturizer. I feel like this is really settled into my skin. So this is my Rhode Barrier Restore Cream. You also want to make sure you don't apply too much skincare. Like honestly, I apply the smallest amount of that. There's like less than a pea-sized amount. I've got the most crazy baby hair. Can you see it? It's just... even hairspray doesn't sort that out. It's so annoying. Anyway, gonna go in with my eye cream, which is my Drunk Elephant as always. And when I apply my eye cream, that usually allows everything else to kind of like just settle down. Okay, so now that my moisturizer has kind of like sunk into my skin and isn't kind of just sitting on top and my skin has really kind of soaked it up, I'm gonna go in with my primer. Now, because we're gonna be doing a look which we want it to last all day, you wanna make sure you go for something which is gonna kind of hold onto your makeup, but at the same time not dry your skin out. Because what happens when you want to have long lasting makeup, it's quite easy to go to like kind of, you know, foundations that say long lasting and all that kind of stuff, but ultimately it can end up drying your skin out. So you want to make sure you use something which is a good kind of like tacky primer, but it's also going to give you the hydration underneath so your skin doesn't look all cakey. You want to use Milk Hydro Grip Primer. These are all like little things that you can do to really kind of like boost the staying power of your makeup. I'm just smoothing this all over. There you go. Now that we've got the primer on, we're going to move on to the next hack. And this is something that I think you guys are going to love. So what we're going to be doing is mixing our foundation in with something. And we're going to be using this product twice. So this isn't the only kind of thing you can do. Now, first off, I'm going to use a foundation, which I know is so good at lasting all day. This is my Dior Forever foundation in 3W. And I love this. Now, what I'm going to do is put some of this on the back of my hand. I'm just spreading it out on the back of my hand like that. There you go. And now I've got my setting spray, which is my Milk Pore Eclipse setting spray. This setting spray is amazing. But what I'm going to do is spray this into my foundation. There, a couple of sprays and then mix it. And this is going to make it really nice and fluid because the foundation, it is fluid, but it can be a little bit kind of tough to blend, just a tiny bit, not very much. Now, when you mix this together, you will feel like it's not mixing properly, but trust the process. We're going to get the foundation brush, which is my Sigma F85 brush. We're going to go into this foundation. So don't worry if it looks like it's a bit separated, right? We're going to go into the foundation and we are going to start buffing this on. Because once you start putting it onto your skin, it's gonna mix in perfectly. So don't worry about how it looks on the back of your hand. Okay, we've got a really nice kind of even finish on the face now. Because ultimately we want the makeup to last all day, but we also don't want it to look super cakey or anything, right? So we've got a nice layer there. Next up, we're gonna use concealer. I'm using my Shape Tape, my Tarte Shape Tape. I'm gonna put some of this on the back of my hand and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna mix in, like put one spray of this, just one spray because we're obviously using less product. Mix it in with the foundation. You're going to feel that it's going a bit weird in terms of the texture. Don't worry about that. I'm going to take the wand. I've taken most of the concealer off in the product, in the pot, you know, thing. And then I'm going to take the concealer from the back of my hand and I'm just going to do my eyelids first. Let me just blend this in. See, it will blend perfectly when you actually put it on with a sponge or a brush. Now, before we actually move to anything else, I'm just going to set this. So I'm just using my powder, which is my Makeup Forever Ultra HD powder. Why are my words not coming out? My Laura Mercier Powder Puff Pressing. This is another trick. You've really got to press the powder in. If you want it to last all day, it needs to be pressed on. If you only brush it on or press it with a brush, it's not going to last as long. It's fine to set your face that way because maybe you don't want it to look too matte initially, but it's not going to last. That's just the bottom line. So, okay, now let's go ahead and do the under eyes. I'm taking that concealer from the back of my hand. I'm just gonna put a bit here as well because I just feel like I need a bit of a lift. Okay, let's go. We're gonna go in with the sponge. I'm just gonna do this bit first. Now, ultimately, what we're doing today is talking about how you can make every part of your face last longer, not just your base, but your brows, your lips, everything. So these are all little hacks that you can do to make everything last longer. Maybe you're not interested in the whole thing. Maybe you just want your brows to last longer, or you just want your lips to last longer, or just your base, or everything. Either way, I know that someone is going to want one of those because I remember there was a time where my brows just did not stay on. I don't know what it was. I think it might have been when I first moved to Dubai because I think at that point, maybe I wasn't kind of climatized and, you know, my body was like, whoa, what is this heat? And my brows just used to slide off. And then eventually, you know, I figured out what to do. So, okay, we've got the concealer on. I'm really happy with that base. And now you can see that it's gone on perfectly. We're happy with that. I'm going to go back into the foundation that's on the back of my hand because I still have some left there. And I'm just going to take my sponge and just kind of like put it on top of the concealer and just any extra where I feel that I need it. Can you believe the scar from that spot that I got here still is not going? It's really annoying. Okay, foundation is on. Now we're gonna set this. So what we're gonna be doing is getting our Laura Mercier Powder Puff, pressing it into this powder. Now you don't just want to go in and go onto your face. The trick is to really kind of almost prime your sponge, prime your powder puff. You're really like pressing the powder, like letting it swirl into the puff, and then we're going to go over the face. And you really want to go over wherever you worry about it coming off or where you know it usually tends to just like start lifting off or looking a bit too oily. So we've pressed that in. Now the longer you leave it, the more kind of staying power you're going to get. But at the same time, I feel that there's a flip side to that where the longer you leave it, it can also end up looking cakier quicker or just cakier in general. So I don't like to really leave it on that long. I like to take off the powder from most of the face because my main thing is my under eye area. So what I do is I just dust it off with my hourglass brush, nothing on this brush. And then I get my smaller brush, which is my Real Techniques brush, and I just lightly kind of like dust off the under eye area. Okay, this base is not going anywhere, but there is one more thing that we can do, which we're going to do a bit later, so stay tuned for that. We're going to get started on the rest of the face now. I'm going to use a brow wax for my brows. Now I'm going to be using my Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax, and this is really going to help to keep your brows in place, but also almost help to just set them in general, because what you're doing is you're kind of flattening the brow, like the hairs. so it's much easier for you to shade them. I like to just press over with my finger so that they're going to stay in place like that all day now. I did used to use the Too Faced one, and I think I've mentioned this before in a recent video. The only thing with that is it does leave a bit of a kind of white cast over your brows when it dries. This one doesn't, so this I feel like is much better in that sense, but the staying power of Too Faced is way more. Like, that literally is like glue. This is a bit more kind of natural, so it really depends what you're looking for. By the way, if you feel that when you brush them up like this, like look at that hair, that there's like the odd hair that is just way too long, just trim it. That's what I do, which I'm going to do now. I can see one hair which is just, oh, that's better. Okay, now the thing is, you don't want to go straight in with this now with your brow products, because you need that to dry. Because if you go straight in, you'll find that your brow product doesn't transfer onto your skin properly or your brows. So you need this to fully dry, and then you will find you'll get the best possible pigment transfer from whatever brow product you're going to use. So we're going to let that dry and move on to something else in the meantime. Now I'm going to go in with my mascara now. And the trick that I like to use for my mascara is I like to use a powder first. So this is an easy hack for you to use, and this is really going to help to keep your lashes kind of like, it almost makes them a little bit thicker as well. But I'm going to start off with my lash curlers. So I'm going to go in with my lash curler. Whoa, that would have been bad if I sneezed with that, there. I felt a sneeze coming on. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. So I like to curl them, but not overly where it's a dent. I like a curl, not a dent. Okay, so next up, what I like to do is I like to get a smaller brush, get some of my powder, close my eyes, and I just kind of like go over my lashes like this, very lightly. Make sure it's a translucent powder. My eyes are watering now because I didn't sneeze. So now what we're going to do is use a mascara. I'm going to use my NARS Climax Extreme because I love this mascara. And we're going to go straight in and start coating. Now, because you've got a powder underneath, this is really going to help to kind of like keep your mascara on slightly longer. Not that it kind of like slides off at any point. I don't feel like there are any mascaras that just slide off. But I do feel like having a little bit of powder on before I apply my mascara helps to just almost keep it looking a bit more fresh. You know, when you have that thing where you put mascara on and later on it just looks like your lashes have gone a bit flat. I'm gonna go ahead, and plus I really like how it actually applies after applying a bit of powder, because it's almost like you've primed your lashes, and I don't feel like I actually have to go in with as much mascara, and it's much quicker for me. So you should try it. But do make sure it's a translucent powder and very finely milled. Like the Makeup Forever powder is very finely milled. I genuinely feel like you end up spending less time putting mascara on when you use this hack. I'm going to very quickly just add some bronzer. This is my IT Cosmetics bronzer, Bye Bye Pores bronzer in Beach. And I'm just going to add a little bit to the kind of like cheekbones. I don't know why that was so hard. This is weird. I've got like a full face without my brows done. That's the one thing I wouldn't go out without. I just like to take it along the perimeter of the face. Just warms up the face a bit. Okay, let's get started with brows now. So this is all dried and it's nice and dry, I can feel it. And I'm gonna go in with a product which I genuinely feel does last a long time. I like using several different brow pencils. My favorite one is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I feel like that's genuinely the best brow pencil, mainly because I like the way it transfers onto the skin and it's quite fine. But I also do feel that there are other pencils which last longer. So as much as that's still my favorite, there are other brow pencils that generally last longer, you know? So I'm gonna use something which I feel like does last quite a while. This is my Victoria Beckham Baby Blade in medium brown. And it's almost like a kind of hybrid of gel and pencil in one, where it's not overly but gel-like, but it transfers like a pencil. But I do feel like this lasts quite a while on the brows. So I always feel like this definitely lasts longer. I do feel that it's a bit tricky to apply it because it's not as thin as the Benefit one that I like. We're gonna go ahead and just start kind of like adding some hair strokes. So I'm just drawing on the underside of my brow because I always feel like that's where I need to kind of add it. I definitely don't need it at the top. You'll find when you actually apply your brow pencil, whatever you're using, after you've actually done your brows this way, you know, the way that we've kind of like really pushed them up and set them before we've applied brow pencil, the transfer that you get is honestly amazing from your brow pencil, and it's not kind of like too much either. Okay, brows are done. So these are gonna last all day now. Now there is a couple of other things that I wanna do. My lips, how do you get that to stay all day? Because I do get a lot of people who say to me like, how on earth do you get it to stay all day without your lips drying out? So first thing that I do is I put on my Dior Lip Maximizer. Again, it's all about the layering. So you wanna make sure that you get that hydration there so it doesn't dry out later. So we've got this on now. Usually I put this on a lot earlier because I let it sink in, but if you do end up forgetting and put it on later like me today, then you can put it on, get a tissue and take the excess off because you don't want it overly glossy when you apply your lip line. Also, I don't apply it all the way around, right? I only apply it in the center. That's where you need it because that's usually where you end up feeling like you start to feel the dryness where you can just feel it there. It's not usually on the kind of lip line area. So don't apply it there, just apply it on the inside so you've got that hydration layer there. Dab it, take the excess off and then get started with your lip liner or your lipstick, whatever way around you prefer to do it. I'm using my lip cheat from Charlotte Tilbury. Just gonna line my lips. Now what I do is I put a layer of lipstick, right? Because this isn't the color that I want, but I find that when I layer it this way, it stays all day. So I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Pillow Talk. I'm then gonna dab that. I'm then gonna apply the smallest amount of powder. That's kind of locked in everything now, but then I'm gonna go on top with this. And this is my Rare Beauty Lip Souffle in Brave. This is the color I want. Got my Charlotte Tilbury lip brush and I'm just gonna take it to the edges. Really kind of mix it in with my lip liner. Once I've put that on, I usually see like, do I need a little bit more lip liner? So I can just darken that a bit. Very lightly, because when you apply it over kind of this, it doesn't transfer as heavy. So now that I've got my lips like this, I'm gonna wait a second and then I go over with a little bit more powder, tiny bit, not a lot, but not on the center. Mainly, I just kind of tuck in and go over the lip line. That's it. So now I can still feel that moisture in the middle of my lips, but it's set, everything's set. So that's the way that you get your lipstick to last all day. That's a little hack for you there. Now the next thing is we want the entire base, everything here to stay put. So we're gonna go back in with our Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse and I am gonna just spray this. I'm gonna just spray this. That didn't make sense. I'm gonna spray this. Yeah, it did make sense. I'm gonna just spray this all over. You can go over a couple of times if you want. Now this is really gonna help to keep our makeup like there. I could not find that well. It's gonna, I don't think any of that came out right. What I meant is it's gonna really keep our makeup on all day. All day. So yeah, basically this is how you can like get your makeup to last all day. These are all little hacks. They're kind of like different ways of applying your makeup. It's all about the technique, but also about some of the products that you use. Obviously, if you're going to use a glowy foundation, it's hard to get that to stay all day. But if you do follow the same technique that I used when it came to applying my foundation, you are going to have it lasting like way longer than if you were to apply it on its own and just do your usual technique. So this all in all is how you get your makeup to last all day. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments box below. Don't forget that you can find all of my discount codes in the description area below as well. So head on over and see what you can get a little treat with. So yeah, enjoy. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.